Hey y'all, welcome to another shrimp video. Today is going to be a little different as it's not an update to the 5-gallon tank that I've been keeping for the last couple months. Instead, this is going to be a bit more special, as this year my gift was a new tank setup, and this is my way of sharing it with you. I started off with rinsing and cleaning everything that was going in the tank. I soaked the mopani wood for a week before filming this, and then I scrubbed the surface with a brush as well to knock off any remaining debris. After rinsing the substrate, I added it to the tank, building it up more in the back for more depths as well as a deeper area for the plants to root. I then played around with where I liked the log and decided to place it in the middle to separate a planted area in the back and a swimming area in the front. I then built up substrate around it to secure it. After setting the hardscape in place, I started to add a finer black sand to top everything off and darken the overall look. I then used a fan brush to try to spread the sand around a little bit more. This is where I started adding the plants. I added some Vallisneria more in the center as I actually really like the simple look of the grass and how it's tall enough to drape over the surface as well. Then came a couple bunches of water wisteria, red ludwigia, and I added river rocks for a more natural look and a change in texture. I followed this up with more sand to top it off. And I spread this around with fan brush as well. I then filled the tank with pre-treated water along with some from another tank to help start the cycle. This was left to sit for some time with a hang-on back filter running with pre-cycled media. During this time I also added some floating water lettuce, and not shown, but I added a java fern from my other tank as well. I soaked some katapa or Indian almond leaves while I was preparing the tank, and with the last soak, I added them to the tank along with the water stained with some of the beneficial tannins. This is where I switched my Marimo ball from its other tank into its new home. And a couple days later, I added my current blue shrimps to the new setup as well. As for the fish, I let them temperature acclimate for about 30 minutes before dumping out the pet store water and gently adding them to the tank.
Maybe it's not married. Maybe it's love.
Well, whatever it is, pray that it never hits you.
I've got a feeling love don't have to be the way you say it is.
Well, gotta be that way.
The fish I ended up choosing was 6 little ember tetras.
I I've got a hunch I've never...
There will be more being added at a later date for a larger school, however, this is all they had locally at the time. If you'd like to see the new fish when they arrive, why not subscribe to the channel? It would be greatly appreciated and would help the channel out. As for these little guys, they were only shy for a couple minutes before starting to come out and explore. There are a few reasons why I decided to choose amber tetras for this setup. Their maximum size of just under 1 inch was a big factor, as I didn't want too many worries when it came to little shrimplet snacks. I also wanted a fish that would occupy the middle level of the tank to add more movement and diversity, and I felt the orange of the amber tetra also contrasted the different blue shrimps, also making this setup their home. The tetras are actually quite interesting to watch. Whenever I come close to the tank, they get curious and slowly come check things out. I also moved over Gary the snail, since it was the only ram's horn I currently had and it seems to enjoy this setup. He does surf a lot on the surface to get any food particles that don't sink. I lost my footage of adding them, however I did add about 35 more Blue Dream variety shrimp. Most of them are still just little shrimplets, or juveniles. I really liked the color of that blue willy. And here's a little blue jelly. Amongst the new shrimp, there's a few that are even starting to show the green egg saddle on their back. There are shrimps of all sorts and sizes. Here are some to compare. The little ones look just like the bigger ones, but with a more stout face. And here I thought I'd show off a couple of the other newer shrimps that I got that I really liked the patterns of. And we already had a healthy molt. Here's a pile of blue shrimps eating an algae wafer. Introducing Gloves, with a blue shrimp on her head. Named in memory of Mittens, the shrimp that started the whole thing. She's another bamboo shrimp. This time she's quite a bit larger, coming in at around 60 millimeters from tip of tail to tip of rostrum. Poor shrimpy is missing a leg, though. However, this is already starting to grow back and will continue to do so as she keeps molting. At the same time, I also ended up getting a really nice looking cherry shrimp, since this little one was buried with eggs at the store. She was starting to drop one of her eggs, though. It was stuck onto her side. She noticed after a couple minutes, and she did manage to use her back legs to push it back in under her swimmerettes, though. as you can see, the little amber tetras don't really get too much bigger than the shrimps. This was my first time actually trying to aquascape anything, so this may not be the best setup out there, but it is mine and I'm quite happy with it. More importantly, so are the inhabitants. I learned a lot as I went through the process of setting this up, and I feel I could do even better in the future. So stay tuned for more updates on the current tanks, as well as future projects. And as always, thanks for watching.